My name is Arthur. I'm 79 years old. I'm standing here in front of you today because I need to say some things out loud. Not because I have answers, not because I'm some kind of example, but because carrying these things alone for so long nearly killed me, and maybe saying them here, in this place, will help me let them go. I didn't grow up in the church. My father didn't believe in God, said religion was for weak people who couldn't face the world on their own. I believed him. For most of my life, I believed him. I was angry for as long as I can remember. Angry at my father for leaving when I was 12. Angry at my mother for working 2 jobs and never being home. Angry at the world for being unfair. And I carried that anger like a badge, like it made me strong, like it protected me from getting hurt. But anger doesn't protect you. It just makes you hurt other people instead. I was married once. Her name was Caroline. We were married for 11 years. She was kind, patient, gentle, everything I wasn't. And I made her miserable. I yelled. I criticized. I came home from work and found reasons to be upset about the smallest things. The house wasn't clean enough. Dinner wasn't ready on time. She talked too much or didn't talk enough. There was always something. She tried. God, she tried. She'd apologize even when she hadn't done anything wrong. She'd ask me what she could do to make things better. And I'd just get angrier because I didn't know what I wanted. I just knew I was unhappy and I blamed her for it. She left in 1982, packed her things while I was at work and left a note on the kitchen table. It said, "I can't live with your anger anymore. I hope you find peace someday." I crumpled up that note and threw it away, told myself she was weak, told myself I was better off alone. But I wasn't better off. I was just alone. I worked, I came home, I drank, I watched television. I avoided people because people required effort and I didn't have any left to give. My sister tried to stay in touch for years. She'd call, invite me to family dinners, to holidays, to her kids' birthdays. I always had an excuse. Too busy, too tired, not in the mood. Eventually she stopped calling. I had a son. From Caroline. His name is Michael. He's 51 now. I haven't seen him in over 20 years. When Caroline left, she got custody. I was supposed to have him on weekends, but I rarely showed up. I'd cancel last minute because I didn't want to deal with it. Or I'd have him for the day and spend it watching TV while he played by himself in the other room. He stopped wanting to come. Can't blame him. When he turned 18, he sent me a letter, said he didn't want a relationship with me anymore, said I'd never been a real father to him, and he needed to move on with his life. I told myself I didn't care, but I kept that letter. It's in a drawer in my bedroom. I've read it 100 times. I'm 79 years old, and I have one son who wants nothing to do with me. One sister I haven't spoken to in 15 years. No friends. No one. That's what anger gets you. A quiet house and a lot of regret. 2 years ago I had a heart attack. Not a major one, but enough to scare me. I was alone when it happened, lying on my kitchen floor, thinking, this is it. This is how I die. Alone on the floor with no one to call. The neighbor heard me fall and called an ambulance. Saved my life. In the hospital, a chaplain came to see me. I didn't ask for one. He just showed up, sat down next to my bed and asked how I was feeling. I said, "I'm fine." He smiled a little and said, "You don't look fine." I don't know why, but I started crying, right there in front of this stranger. I hadn't cried in probably 40 years and suddenly I couldn't stop. He didn't say much, just sat there while I cried. When I finally stopped, he said, "You don't have to carry everything alone." I didn't believe him, but I remembered it. After I got out of the hospital, I couldn't shake this feeling, this heaviness, like I was running out of time and I'd wasted all of it being angry at nothing. I started walking past this church every morning. I don't know why. It was just on my route. Small place, not fancy. But there was something about it that made me slow down when I passed. One Sunday I stopped, stood outside for probably 10 minutes just staring at the door. I felt like I didn't belong there, like if I walked in, everyone would know I was a fraud, that I'd spent my whole life hating everything and now I was pretending to care about God. But I went in anyway. I sat in the back, didn't talk to anyone, didn't sing, didn't stand when everyone else stood, just sat there and listened. The pastor talked about forgiveness, about how we all carry things we shouldn't, how God doesn't wait for us to be perfect before He loves us. I didn't believe it, but I wanted to. I kept coming back, week after week, sat in the same spot in the back. People would smile at me, say hello, but I didn't engage. I wasn't ready. After a few months, an older woman named Ruth sat down next to me. She didn't ask me questions, she just sat there. At the end of the service, she said, "I'm glad you're here. That's all. I'm glad you're here." I don't know why that got to me, but it did. I started staying for coffee after the service, standing in the corner, not talking much, but being there, listening to people talk about their lives, their struggles, their faith. And slowly, very slowly, something started to shift. I realized I'd spent my whole life thinking I had to be strong, that admitting I was wrong or scared or lonely made me weak. But these people, they talked about their pain openly. They asked for help. They admitted when they didn't have answers, and no one thought they were weak. They just thought they were human. I started praying, not out loud, not in any formal way, just sitting in my living room at night and talking. To God, I guess, or to the silence, I wasn't sure. I'd say things like, "I don't know if you're there. I don't know if you care about someone like me, but I'm tired. I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of being alone." And I didn't hear anything back. No voice, no sign, just the quiet. But the quiet started to feel different, less empty, more like someone was listening. Ruth invited me to a Bible study group, small group, 6 or 7 people. I almost didn't go. Felt like I didn't know enough, like I'd say something stupid and everyone would realize I didn't belong. But I went, and it was okay. People asked questions. People admitted when they didn't understand something. The pastor leading it said, "Faith isn't about having all the answers. It's about trusting even when you don't." I'd never thought about it that way. I started reading the Bible, not cover to cover, just bits and pieces, the Psalms mostly. David wrote a lot about feeling abandoned, about crying out to God and not hearing anything back. I related to that. But he also wrote about hope, about trusting that God was there even in the darkness. I wasn't sure I believed it yet, but I wanted to. One night, I was sitting in my living room and I felt this overwhelming need to apologize. To Caroline, to Michael, to my sister, to everyone I'd hurt. I wrote letters. Took me weeks. I'd write a few lines and then stop because I didn't know what to say. How do you apologize for decades of being a terrible person? But I tried. I told Caroline I was sorry for the way I treated her, that she deserved better, that I hope she found happiness. I told Michael I was sorry for not being a father, that I understood if he never wanted to see me again, but I wanted him to know I was proud of him, even though I had no right to be. I told my sister I was sorry for disappearing, for missing so much of her life and her kids' lives. I didn't expect responses, I just needed to say it. Caroline wrote back, short letter. She said she appreciated the apology, that she'd forgiven me a long time ago for her own peace of mind, not mine. But she was glad I was trying to change. My sister called. We talked for an hour. She cried. I cried. She said she'd missed me. Michael didn't respond, and that's okay. I hurt him too deeply. Some things you can't fix, but at least I tried. I'm 79 years old. I don't know how much time I have left. Could be a year, could be 10. But for the first time in my life, I'm not angry about it. I'm not happy exactly. I still have regrets. I still wish I could go back and do things differently. But I found something I didn't think I'd ever find. Peace. Not because my life got easier. It didn't. I'm still alone most of the time. I still have health problems. I still miss people I pushed away. But I'm not alone inside anymore. God didn't fix everything. He didn't erase my past or heal all my relationships. But He gave me something I didn't know I needed. He gave me the ability to forgive myself. And that's more than I thought I deserved. I'm standing here today because I wanted you to know that it's never too late. I wasted 77 years being angry. But these last 2 years sitting in this church, learning to pray, learning to be gentle with myself and others, these have been the most meaningful years of my life. I don't have much to offer. I'm not wise. I'm not healed. I'm just an old man who finally stopped running from the truth. But if you're carrying anger or regret or loneliness, I want you to know you don't have to carry it alone. God is here. Even when it doesn't feel like it, even when you don't deserve it, He's here. And so are the people in this room, imperfect, broken, trying their best people who will sit with you and say, I'm glad you're here. Because you are. You're here, and that matters. Thank you for listening to me today. If you have a story like mine, if you've carried anger or regret and found a way through it, I'd love to hear it. Leave a comment below and share your journey. And if this story resonated with you, please subscribe to this channel. We're all just trying to make sense of this life together. God bless you.